absolutely not. I think my job is to serve licence fee payers and deliver a BBC that is really focused on world-class, impartial, landmark output, and I look forward to us resolving this situation and looking forward to delivering that.
You say that opinionated columnists and campaigners shouldn't be...
Well, I'm prepared to take the appropriate disciplinary action all the way to termination, yes.
I'm pleased to hear it, Chair. You have a plan.
What I want to do is we are going to be publishing in the next few weeks, and this is imminent, clear social media guidelines, and they will cover both news and current affairs and beyond news and current affairs. And we will have within those guidelines the enforcement policies will be very clear, which is we'll be able to take disciplinary action, we'll be able to take people off Twitter. I know people want to see, hard action on this.
Sorry, did you...
Well, I'm very sad for Tim personally. I worked with him quite a lot in the BBC. He was one of the people who was involved in supporting the Olympics coverage, and I worked with him when he was acting Director General in 2012. And he is a very clever and bright man. He is personally kind, and I really regret that his BBC career has ended in this way. So I'm very sad for him personally. We don't know yet what happened within the labyrinthine committee meetings and discussions in the BBC, but the BBC was slow to respond to the latest allegations, and I think they were flat-footed for 3 or 4 days when the story broke about the Michael Prescott dossier. That said, the Director General of the BBC is the most enormous job, and you're dealing with MasterChef, and you're dealing with Hugh Edwards, and you're dealing with all these other issues that happen, and I think it's almost too much for one person. And if you look at the recent history of DG, with George Entwistle having to resign, Greg Dyke having to resign, all the pressures on Tim Davie, it's a simple question: is DG of the BBC too big a job for one person, and does it need the BBC to rethink the way it handles both its editorial and its chief executive officer? I hope the BBC will look very widely for who the next Director General should be. Most of the recent Director Generals have been in various ways from inside the BBC, and it's early days, but it would be good to get a wider outside perspective. I think also the politicians need to give the BBC space to breathe, to be the public service organisation that it wants to be. And it's very important. The BBC as well needs to listen to the public. And I think one of the challenges which the Prescott document shows is that there have been times when the BBC has gone in maybe rather a liberal direction, and it hasn't necessarily won the affections and loyalties of other parts of the audience. So it's a difficult job, but the BBC needs to get on with public service broadcasting, have support from politicians, proper funding, and find the people who have got the vision to lead it into the future. And there's no doubt there are vociferous campaigns against the BBC, either for ideological reasons or commercial reasons, and the BBC has lots of enemies out there. Now, that happens. I mean, the BBC has to live with that. What it then has to do, of course, is be as good as it possibly can be, and that means not making what appear to be dodgy edits in documentaries about Donald Trump. And it has to live up to the very highest standards. And if it lives up to the highest standards, it gives itself a degree of armour plating against those campaigns. But the fact those campaigns exist and polarisation is there in British society does make the BBC's job more difficult. I think that the dossier from Michael Prescott has got some things in it that are right and some things that I think are wrong. But within it, the problem areas, I think, are, first of all, the Trump documentary and the edit, which doesn't seem to be defensible. Secondly, most BBC executives I've talked to over the years think BBC Arabic does need a very close eye kept on it. And whether that's been absolutely the BBC standard, I think, is in some doubt. Then also, there are wider issues about, did the BBC go too far in a direction of the trans lobby, and that's something which is just part of the way the BBC has to reshape and reform its editorial from time to time. So some of it's regular business, other things have clearly been very damaging.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.